Bond Court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond Court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond Court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Hello?
Good afternoon. This is Judge Bigney at the Orange County Court House. Can you tell me your name, please?
Viviana.
Hi. Hi, my name is John Levy, the interpreter.
Please raise your right hand. I'm going to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear to interpret from Portuguese to English and English to Portuguese to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. I'm going to ask that you explain to Ms. Viviana Oliveira to only answer in Portuguese.
Ok. Meu nome é João, eu sou intérprete de português. A juíza pediu para você, Viviana de Oliveira, a responder tudo apenas em português.
Ms. Oliveira, you were arrested for driving under the influence.
Senhora Oliveira, a senhora foi presa por estar dirigindo sob influência.
Sim.
Ma'am, do you plan to hire an attorney or do you want a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office?
A senhora pretende contratar um advogado ou a senhora quer um advogado que seja fornecido pelo governo, defensor público?
Pode ser do governo.
I accept a public defendant.
Okay, I'll have a public defender appointed to you. When you're released
Então,
from... go ahead.
Então, eu vou arranjar um advogado público para você.
Quando?
When, Your Honor?
She's in the courtroom, but she does not speak Portuguese.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, she just asked when are you going to assign a public defender for her?
I understood that. My response was, she's in the courtroom, but she does not speak Portuguese.
God, I understand. Apologize.
It's okay.
A advogada já está aqui na corte, mas ela não fala português.
Não tem problema.
She will give you her phone number, and you're to call within 1 week of being released from jail.
Essa advogada vai te dar o telefone dela e você tem que ligar para ela no período de, no máximo, 1 semana depois que você sair da cadeia.
Is your phone number 407?
O seu telefone é 407?
Yeah.
580?
Yeah.
580?
-1180.
1180?
Yeah.
Esse é o seu telefone?
Sim, sim.
Yes.
Can you afford a bond of $100?
Você pode pagar uma fiança de $100?
Sim.
Yes.
I'm going to modify your bond to $100.
Eu vou modificar a sua fiança para $100.
You are not to possess or use any alcohol or drugs.
Você não pode possuir ou usar álcool, bebida alcoólica ou drogas.
Certo.
Do you have any questions for me, Ms. Oliveira?
A senhora tem alguma pergunta para mim, dona Oliveira?
Não, obrigada. Não vou
Oh,
usar
thank
nada
you.
de droga, nem de álcool, nada, nem dirigir. Muito obrigada.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to use drugs or alcohol. Thank you very much.
Again, somebody needs to post a $100 bond.
John, we did qualify for pre-trial. Okay.
Alguém precisa pagar essa fiança de $100.
Ok.
Thank you.
Obrigado.
Sometimes with the language barrier, I'm seeing them bounce back. Okay, that's it for the Portuguese interpreter. Thank you for your services, sir.
You're welcome. Thanks for using our service. Have a great day, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, what's your name?
Bullard.
You have an add-on case, 2022 CF 2077. You have a new charge for battery upon a corrections facility, so felony battery. You do have a bond, it's $1,500. I find probable cause. Do you want a public defender, Mr. Bullard?
Yeah, you said I have a new charge?
Yes, for the battery that allegedly took place in jail. Do you want a public defender?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Bullard.
And you said it was 100 and, how much, Your Honor?
I'm staying the bond $1,500.
Thank you.
Wait, so I could bond out?
No, this is just the addition.
Next case is Larry Griffin. Are you Mr. Griffin?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Griffin, you're here for a new charge in case 2022 CF 2059 for possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause. Do you want a public defender?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to stay that bond at $1,000. You were already out on bond on case 2021 CF 12902AO. The state has not made a filing decision from that case, so I'll go ahead and take no action. However, in case number 2021 CF 12952AO, you failed to appear for your court date in front of Judge Roach. She did set you a bond at $5,000. At this time, because of the new offense, I'm going to set you at no bond. So I'm changing it to no bond. Thank you, Mr. Griffin.
Ma'am.
Don't talk about the facts.
Take a moment to listen to your attorney. Your case is concluded. The next person I'm addressing is Demetrius Carey. Mr. Carey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You're here for two different felony cases. Cases 2022 CF 2034, a charge of criminal mischief that occurred on December 15th of 2021. I'm going to stay the bond at $2,000.
Okay.
You also have a second criminal mischief case, unrelated, case number 21 CF 14260. I'll stay that bond at $1,000. Mr. Carey, would you like an attorney to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. Thank you, sir. He had two of them. Right? Yes.
She did, yes.
Right?
Yes. It was two cases.
Are you Mr. King? Mr. King, do you want a public defender to help you with your charges? Sir, you're already on parole in case number 2005 CF 16470AO. Probable cause has been found for new offenses, so I'm going to revoke your conditions of parole and you'll be held at no bond. I'm going to revoke your conditional release and you'll be held at no bond in the 2005 case. You're also here for cases 22 CF 2069 for obscene communications using using devices to seduce a child, 8 counts of possession of material depicting sexual performance by a child, and finally, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Probable cause has been found. I'll hold you at no bond at all of those charges. I'm sorry, strike that. Your bond will be $10,000 as to each count. You're to have no contact with any minors, no contact of any sort, and you are not to use the internet for anything outside of legitimate business purposes, and you have reporting requirements. Within 2 business days of being released from jail, you need to report as a sex offender and comply with those conditions.
Here.
I'm sorry, what did you say, sir?
I bond out, I don't have to have an ankle monitor.
You're being held at no bond on your 2005 parole case.
Oh, okay, so the violation of parole is no bond, Your Honor, correct?
Correct. Next person is Adam Joseph. Withholder and adjudication state on Joseph. He is 72 in.
Withhold.
Are you Mr. Joseph?
Yes, ma'am.
Case number 21, MM8854. You're here for a misdemeanor offense. You have a public defender. You're here for a charge of trespass. The offer is a withhold, time served. Do you need a moment to speak with your attorney?
Oh, no, thank you.
No, I already spoke to,
I'll give him a moment to sign. Sir, I just saw you sign a plea form. Did you read it before you signed it?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by entering a plea, if you were on probation at the time you committed this offense, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, I'm aware.
And do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the crime of trespass? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, Your Honor.
And are you satisfied with the services of your lawyer?
Very satisfied.
All right, at this time, I'll go ahead and withhold adjudication. No return to the scene of the crime. I'm sentencing you to credit time served, which is 72 days. You're being released on this case. Pay all cost by December 31st of 2022. Do you have any questions, Mr. Adams?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, sir. The next person is Trisha Bauman. State, what's the offer?
I don't think she's here, Your Honor.
Trisha Bauman,
Yes, she's medical, Your Honor. So I will waive the appearance and enter a plea of not guilty.
all right, go ahead and reset for pretrial conferences in,
Division 81, pretrial conference, March 11th, 9 a.m., courtroom 4E.
thank you. The next person is Desean Anthony Jones. Are you Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Jones. You're here for a charge of trespass. Defense, what are we doing with this case?
The offer is an adjudication, credit time served, no return to the Chevron located at 3600 South John Young Parkway.
This is going to be a plea counsel.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jones, how do you plead to the crime of trespass on property? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest?
And has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Oh, not you, Mama. Not you.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, you would be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes.
Do you understand that we will not have a trial based on your no contest plea?
Yes.
Have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No.
Sir, I'm showing you this paper. I see a signature. Did you read it and sign this plea form?
Yes.
All right, I'll go ahead and accept your plea. You're being adjudicated, sentenced to time served of 43 days. You're being released on these charges. No return to the Chevron gas station, and pay all costs by December 31st of 2022. Mr. Jones, do you have any questions for me?
No.
All right, thank you. Your case is concluded.
Your Honor, I apologize. What was his credit time served? I apologize.
43.
Thank you.
Hold on a second. Let's see what's going on with the next one. Kelly McLohan, case 2021, MM 9038AO. Defense counsel, or corrections, what else is holding her?
One moment, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Your Honor, this is for Kelly?
Yes, Kelly McLohan.
Okay.
I see what's
Oh,
holding
yeah,
her.
she's here on some other cases, Your
Okay.
Honor. Yeah, she's here on the felony.
Got it.
Yes.
State any objection to me sentencing her to 1 day on this case with an adjudication based on her history?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
Defense, Ms. McLohan,
Yes, ma'am.
you're facing a charge of petty theft of a second degree. The offer is an adjudication in 1 day, so you'll be doing concurrent time with anything else.
Yes, ma'am.
But based on your history, if you commit a future act of theft, you will be charged with a felony despite the value of the items.
Correct, ma'am.
Ms. McLohan, do you need to speak with a public defender?
No, ma'am.
How do you plead to the crime of petty
Guilty.
theft? And what's the highest grade that you finished in school?
A year and a half of college.
Can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Now that paper, the plea form, have you read it and understand it? Do you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
If you agree to the terms, go ahead and sign it. Any restitution state?
There's no restitution, Your Honor, but some items were taken from the victim, and I am asking for return of those items if they are still within the defendant's possession.
Okay, I'll treat it as a restitution, a return of property reserved for 30 days. And
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. McLohan, I'm not done asking you questions. So you read this, I see that you've signed it. Do you understand that you will not have a trial based on your plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
If you were on probation at the time you committed this offense, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated.
Yes, ma'am.
And again, I explained to you that if you commit a future act of theft, you will be charged with a felony. It's called an enhancement. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
The state is seeking restitution or return of goods. So that is going to be part of your sentence, possibly.
Your Honor, she states she doesn't even know who the alleged victim is.
Well, let me go ahead and sentencing based on her pro se plea.
Okay.
At this time, ma'am, you're being adjudicated guilty. I'll sentence you to 1 day in the county jail. You owe court cost no later than December 31st of 2022. I'm going to reserve on restitution for a period of 30 days. However, if you own the property, let law enforcement know and give them the case number so you can do a property surrender. That
I do.
concludes your case.
Yeah, I don't believe that I have anything.
Okay, they might try to seek the replacement value
Okay.
in monetary terms.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
30
ma'am.
days reserved. The next case is John O'Brien. Good morning. Are you Mr. O'Brien? Mr. O'Brien, you have a public defender in case 2022 MM85AA. You're here for charges of resisting an officer without violence and trespass. Counsel, what are we doing in his case?
We're going to enter a no contest plea, Your Honor. The offer from the state was an adjudication, credit time served, and cost of investigation in the amount of $241.38 to Apopka PD.
Okay, thank you. Can I have the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, there's also a no return to the Apopka Memorial Middle School.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Got it.
I have it on here.
Mr. O'Brien, how do you plead to the misdemeanor offense of resisting officer without violence? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
How do you plead to the offense of trespass on school grounds?
No contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand what no contest means?
Ma'am.
Do you understand we will not have a trial in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes.
If you were on probation at the time you committed these offenses, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And I'm showing you this plea form. Did you read it and understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your signature on it?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien, have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea. You'll be adjudicated and fingerprinted on these charges. I'm sentencing you to 40 days time served to run concurrent on counts 1 and 2. You owe court costs and $241, cost of $241.38 to the Apopka Police Department. All that's to be paid by December 31st of 2022. Mr. O'Brien, do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
You'll be released on these charges today.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. On case number 2020 MM6189, Jean Roger, it's a public defender case. Would you like me to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Reset for PTCs, please.
Division 83 pretrial conference will be March 14th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 6C.
Next person I'm addressing is George Bradshaw. Are you Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes, ma'am.
Come on up, sir. Mr. Bradshaw, I've considered your criminal history as well as the facts of this case. You're here for a charge of trespass on a structure I do find probable cause. Your bond in this matter is $500. If you would like to accept a plea, the offer is an adjudication, 5 days in jail with credit for 1 or 2 days time served. Would you like to accept that offer? A 5-day jail offer.
You want to go?
And I'll also plea out the littering and disorderly conduct in case 2022 MO2130. So it would be concurrent on all counts.
It'll be 3 days. You gotta tell.
Mr. Bradshaw, would you like me to appoint a public defender, yes or no?
No, ma'am.
How do you plead to the charge of trespass on a structure? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
How do you plead to the charge of disorderly conduct?
No contest.
And how do you plead to the charge of littering?
No contest.
And can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what is going on at this time?
No, ma'am.
If you were on probation at the time you committed these offenses, just yesterday, by entering a plea, do you understand that your probation would be violated? If you were on probation when you committed these offenses, your probation terms would be violated. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
As a friend of the court, the attorney gave you a plea form. Did you read it in back? Did you read it while you were in back? Yes. And I just saw you sign it. At this time, I'll accept your plea of no contest in all charges. You're being adjudicated guilty of all offenses and sentenced to 5 days with credit for 2 days' time served. I'll do all your court cost is due by December 31st of 2022, and no return to the scene of the crime. That concludes your case. Do you have any questions, Mr. Bradshaw?
Questions?
All right, good luck to you, sir. And that's concurrent to all charges. The next person is Matthew Bazell. Good morning, Mr. Good. You bonded? The next person is Carl Caudill. Mr. Caudill, good afternoon. You're here in case number 2022 MM1196AO. You're also out on bond in case number 2022 CF235AO for a petty theft with 2 prior convictions. Would you like a public defender to help you with your cases? You don't want a public defender? State any recommendations, since he just got out last week.
Your Honor, with regard to this trespass, 22 MM1196, the offer is an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return to the Wawa located at 3100 South Orange Avenue.
What about that felony that he's released on?
Your Honor, with regard to that, I would ask that you revoke and hold him at no bond.
Okay, the state's asking for no bond. Are you sure you think?
Get out so I can work, I can pay it.
Do you want a public defender to help you with your case, sir?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender on the new trespass. Defense, if he takes a 5-day offer, he has credit for 2. I'll take no action on the petty theft felony. I'll give you a moment to explain.
Thank you. Yes, Your Honor, he would accept that offer.
Okay, again, I'm taking no action on 2022 CF235AO. Sir, how do you plead to the charge of trespass on property, the Wawa charge? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty? How do you plead, sir? Do you understand what no contest means?
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
Hey, Mr. Claudel, can you just listen to me so we can get you out of here? Mr. Claudel, did anybody force you to say no contest? Do you understand what no contest means? You don't understand what it means?
I think the officer was talking to him as well to step forward, Your Honor, so if you could just repeat the question.
No contest means you're neither admitting or denying the charge. You just feel it's in your best interest to finish your case. Is that what you would like to do today? Yes or no? Yes. Did anybody force you to say no contest? No. Can you read, write, and understand the English language? Yes. Did you read this paper, the plea form? Look at me. You need to answer out loud or I'm going to have to reset your case.
Yes.
Did you sign it?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, sir, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated? Do you understand that? Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today? All right, I'll accept your plea of no contest. You're being adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 5 days in the county jail. No return to the scene of the crime, that particular Wawa. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You owe court costs and your public defender fees no later than December 31st of 2022. Mr. Caudill, do you have any questions for me?
So I'll be let go in 3 days?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
But you still have to appear for your court date on the petty theft charge once you're given notice of it. Thank you. Shakira Huggins. Good morning. Are you Miss Huggins?
Yes.
Ma'am, you were arrested for a charge of battery. I do find that there's probable cause for this offense. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
No, I would like to go to therapy.
Okay, I can't give you that option today. I'm not saying that it's not going to be offered in the future. Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case?
A lawyer, no.
All right, I do have concerns about your ability to understand what's going on right now. Have you ever been diagnosed with any disabilities or learning problems?
Well, I've been having pregnancy disability since I've been homeless.
Okay.
That's what I've been going through today. I kind of am trying to go back to my family in Boston.
So do you want a lawyer to help you? Maybe she can give you some guidance.
No, nothing about a lawyer. I'll stay under my level of self.
Are you going to be able to afford a $100 bond?
No.
Okay, so you know what? Are you sure you don't want a lawyer?
So I say yes then.
Okay, so I find probable cause for the charge of battery. I'll modify the bond to $100. Ms. Huggins, you're to have no contact with the victim. You're not to return to the Christian Service Center.
Okay.
Thank you.
Am I out today? So I don't have bond pay.
I'm going to do mental health pretrial release if she qualifies.
Hold in place, Your Honor.
Yeah, if she qualifies, I'll do that in the alternative.
What is it? Oh.
What is your name?
Sean Jewel.
Mr. Jewel, you're here for a charge of trespass on a structure other than a property or conveyance. You do have a bond in this case. It's $500. In the alternative, if you would like to accept a 3-day plea offer, you have credit for 2. I would adjudicate you and you'd be released later today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Mr. Jewel, do you need a public defender?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now? And you understand that you're not going to be allowed to return to that Marathon gas station? Excuse me, I can't hear you.
Yes.
I'll give you a moment to sign that. Mr. Jewel, did you read that plea form before I saw you sign it? You'll need to answer out loud.
Yes.
And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today?
Yes.
And do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this offense, by entering a plea, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes.
And again, how do you plead to the offense of trespass on structure or conveyance?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty means that we're going to have a trial, but I have to keep you in jail unless you post bond.
Hey, no. No contest.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No.
All right, I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days. You owe court costs. No return to the scene of the crime. Court costs are due no later than December 31st, Mr. Jewel. Good luck to you, sir. Oh, this was this one. Which part of this? Okay, the next person is Twain DeBrawn. Sir, what is your name?
Twain DeBrawn.
Sir, you're being held on a couple of different charges. You were arrested yesterday for the charge of possession of marijuana.
Your Honor,
Yes?
at this time, the state announces a no information.
In what case?
I apologize, in 22 MM 1197.
All right, what do you want me to do on the out on bonds now?
Nothing, Your Honor, as I'm dropping the offense.
All right, I'll take no action on the new cases. I still could find probable, I'll just move along. All right, no action on the out on bonds. Kenyon Davis? All right, do you know if your office represents Davis already? All right,
I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
okay, stay the bond at $2,000. The next person is Nicole Watkins. Good morning, good afternoon. Are you Miss Watkins?
Yes, ma'am.
State any objection to a 2-day offer reserve on restitution, but I'll need a factual basis. She broke a computer monitor, or do you need victim contact?
I would like victim contact, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Watkins, you're here for a charge of criminal mischief. You also missed a court date.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll appoint the public defender if you don't have one already. Your bond is set at $2,000. PD's office, state, if you can see if you can get an offer, maybe I can work it in on Thursday or Friday.
Thursday or Friday. Thank you.
Just give me, 1 moment, Your Honor. There appears to be an offer. It is a withhold of adjudication, court costs, anger management class, no return to the scene, which is the Metro by T-Mobile, located at 5519 West Colonial Drive, and restitution would be ordered pending proof of damages.
All right, I'm inclined to follow that in part, but because she was arrested on it and she has 2 days in, I'm going to delete the anger management. I just don't want to set her up for failure with her history. So I'm going to override the offer. It's an adjudication 2 days and reserve on restitution. Hey, what's the factual basis again?
The manager / victim was helping the defendant with an insurance claim for her broken tablet. The victim paid the deductible for the claim, but then requested a refund. When victim told defendant that he couldn't provide a refund, defendant became irate and started throwing things around the store. The victim tried to catch the computer monitor that defendant knocked over and sustained a cut on his hand from the shards of glass that broke off of
Thank you,
it.
Ms. State. You let me know what you'd like to do, defense counsel.
Your Honor, she would like to accept, I just want to clarify, you said 2 days. Is it credit for the day she's already been in? Or?
Yeah, she was arrested yesterday.
And she would like to accept the state's offer. Or, Your Honor.
Okay, we're not done, Ms. Watkins. Just
Yes,
stand by.
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. I'm nervous.
Okay, let's go. Okay, I know you're nervous, but have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medicine?
No, ma'am. I'm nervous because.
It's okay. Just answer the question.
Just let me get my question out, and then you take your turn to respond.
Yes,
If we
ma'am.
talk over each other, you're going to be here for a little bit longer. Can you read, write, and understand the English language, Ms. Watkins?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read this paper, the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Watkins, have you taken any drugs,
No, ma'am.
alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
And did you sign this paper, the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand we will not have a trial in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you were on probation when you committed this crime, by pleading today your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, if you continue to commit acts of criminal mischief or damaging other people's property, do you understand you could be charged with a felony if you continue to do these acts?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the crime of criminal mischief with damage more than $200?
No contest.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days' time served. No return to the scene of the crime, no contact with that witness or victim, and I'm also reserving on restitution for a period of 30 days, so you may have a future court date. Otherwise, you owe court cost of all payable by December 31st of 2022. Anything else, State?
Nothing from the state.
Thank you.
Your Honor, since you're reserving jurisdiction, did you want a restitution order or did you reserving
That
is
just says it
sufficient?
on the court minutes. You're done, ma'am. Okay, where is John Doe, I don't know John Doe's name.
We still don't have a name, Your Honor. He's still in,
2020, oh, he's in Safe Book?
Correct, Your Honor.
2022 MO 214AO. I find probable cause. I'll stay the bond and appoint the public defender. The next person's, I'm ready on. Good afternoon. What's your name?
Sebastian Louis Martin Fernandez.
Sir, you were arrested for disorderly conduct. The facts amount to panhandling. The offer is a time-served offer with a conviction, plus court costs. Would you like to accept that offer?
If I can plead no contest, then yes.
Okay, do you need to talk to a lawyer before you accept the plea of no contest?
I've already talked to my public defender.
Okay, you don't have a public defender, but she did speak with you as a courtesy. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're pleading no contest, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll give you a moment to read and sign that. So I did see you sign that. Do you agree to the terms, Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand we will not have a trial in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
If you were on probation at the time you committed this crime or ordinance violation, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
All right. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
I have not taken any of those, and I understand everything going on, ma'am.
Thank you. At this time, I'll go ahead and adjudicate you. Time served. You'll be released on these charges, and you owe court costs by December 31st of 2022. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
The next person is Timothy Frazier. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Frazier? What's your name?
Yes, ma'am.
What? I'm sorry?
Your name?
My name, Timothy Edward Frazier.
Mr. Frazier, you were arrested for possession of an open container of alcohol. I find probable cause. Your bond is $250. If you would like to resolve this case,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
offer is an adjudication, credit time served, plus court costs. Would you like to resolve your case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need a public defender appointed to help you?
No.
I'll wait for you to sign that. Mr. Frazier, how do you plead to the crime of open container of alcohol? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest, ma'am.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
Yes.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No.
Did anybody force, threaten?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand what no contest means?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now? Have you consumed any drugs?
You just pay attention.
Let's not multitask. Let's
Yeah,
just kind of
just
focus.
I can't hear that good.
Oh, you can't
Did he
hear?
get the hearing device?
I'll just talk louder and let's not talk to him. If he needs assistance, you let me know, Mr. Frazier. Did you read this paper and understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that we will not have a trial in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this ordinance violation, by entering a plea, your probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what is going on right now?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'll adjudicate you, sentence you to time served. You owe your court costs by December 31st of 2022, and you'll be released on these charges. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, sir. The next person is David Girvin. Thank you, Deputy. Thank you, officer. Are you Mr. Girvin? Mr. Girvin, come on up. You're here for charges of open container of alcohol. You have a bond of $250, but if you want to plea it and close it, the offer is adjudication, time served. You'll be released today and just pay your costs by New Year's Day. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need a public defender?
No, ma'am.
I'll give you a moment to sign that plea form. Sir, I saw you sign it. Did you read it before you signed it?
Well, I know a little bit about it, ma'am.
Did you read this paper?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to have you step back to the wall, read that paper.
All right.
Officer, can you hand it back to
Hand
him?
it back. I have a new one, Your Honor.
Okay. You tell me when you've read it.
Your Honor, I apologize. Can you give me the case number?
2022 MO 217AO.
Thank you.
He said he's ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Griffin, have you had enough time to read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And I have a signed copy. Did you sign one?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
How do you plead to open container of alcohol? Guilty?
No
No.
contest.
Okay. Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand what no contest means?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that we will not have a trial in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, sir. I mean,
And
yes,
if-
ma'am.
And if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, Mr. Girvin, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're being adjudicated guilty, sentenced to time served, and being released today. No, you're being convicted. Pay your court costs by December 31st. Good luck to you, sir. You need a cuter pen. Can you tell me what your name is?
Shakayla Williams.
Miss Williams, you're here for a charge of no valid driver's license. I do find that there's probable cause in case 2022 CT 1056AO. Your bond is $500. If you would like to resolve this case, the offer is a withhold and credit time served, and I would take no action on your pretrial diversion case. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
No.
How do you plead to the crime of no valid driver's license? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand what no contest means?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a paper, a plea form. If you've already read it and agree to it, please sign it. Ms. Williams, do you understand that based on your, do you understand that we will not have a trial in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
And I did see you sign this in open court. Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this crime, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you plead to the charge of no valid driver's license? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Okay, I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'll withhold. Credit time served. You'll be released on this case today. Pay your court costs by December 31st of this year. And I'll take no action on your other pretrial release case.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you. What's your name, sir?
Allen.
Mr. Allen, you're here on new charges and old charges. I find probable cause for the new charge in case 2022 CF 2089 for possession of fentanyl. You're entitled to a bond. I'll set your bond at $1,000. Do you need a public defender in that new case?
No, ma'am.
You don't want a lawyer? Okay. You also have public defenders in the two cases where you're already on release. Case numbers 21 CF 5872 and 21 CF 15940AO. I'm going to revoke your release and/or forfeit any bond that you posted. You're going to be held at no bond on your older cases, sir. Are you sure you don't need an attorney? Okay, I'll appoint a public defender for the new fentanyl case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He already has one in the olds. The next person is Bowen. What's your name, sir?
Taj Mahal.
Mr. Bowen, you're here for felony case number 22 CF 769. You're here on an arrest warrant for failure to redeliver hired goods or vehicle. Your bond in this case is $1,500. Mr. Bowen, do you want a public defender to help you with your case
For the near future or right now?
right now and into the near future?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there is a $50 application fee. I'll appoint the public defender. It's pursuant to a warrant. Bond will be stayed at $1,500. Thank you. The next person is Jason Brunco. Mr. Brunco, good afternoon. You're here in case 22 CF 2083 for new charges of aggravated assault with a battery, as well as grand theft motor vehicle. I find probable cause. I'll stay the bond on count 1, but on count 2, I'll modify it to $150. You're already out on bond in case 22 CF 684AO. Similarly, as a grand theft motor vehicle, I'm revoking your release and holding you at no bond. You already have a lawyer in that case. Aaron Cohn is next. Are you Aaron Cohn?
Yeah, I need a bond reduction.
All right, I'll consider that. What's your name?
Aaron Cohn, Aaron John Cohn Jr.
Mr. Cohn, in order to have a bond reduction, I want to ask first if you need a lawyer. Do you want a public defender, yes or no? A public defender is a lawyer. If you feel you want a lawyer but can't afford one, I can appoint a public defender.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. Sir, I find probable cause for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, burglary of a structure, plus 2 additional counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. On count 2, I'll stay the bond at $3,500. On counts 1, 3, and 4, I'll modify to $150 apiece. So there is a slight reduction. You're to have no contact with any of the victims. You're not to return to the scene of the crime, and you're not to possess any weapons.
Okay. One more quick. Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Does Gandy have a public defender?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Are you Miss Gandy?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Gandy, you're here for felony case number 2019 CF 13798A. You already have a lawyer on these charges. You're being held at no bond because you missed your court dates. I'll stay the bond. Good afternoon. Can you start by telling me what your name is?
Hello, my name is Jeremy Gomez.
Mr. Gomez, you're here for felony case number 2022 CF 1860AO. Mr. Gomez, do you want a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Yes.
You're entitled to bond as to all counts. Probable cause has been found. On count 1, I'll stay the bond. On count 2, strike that. On count 1, I'll modify the bond to $100. On the charge of aggravated assault with a firearm, I'm going to set the bond at $5,000. On count 3, $100. Okay. Mr. Gomez, I'm going to go over some conditions with you. You're not to possess any weapons or any BB guns. Okay. If you own any, they need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 3 days. You're to have no contact with the co-defendants, the other suspect. You're not to have any contact with the victim or any witnesses, which includes the victim's family.
Okay.
Thank you. Your total bond is $5,200.
Okay, thank you. Have a good one.
You too, sir. Lawrence Javon. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me what your name is?
Lawrence Goldman.
Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
On any charges, I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. PD's office, he has case 22, CT334AO, a driving with license suspended. I'll modify his bond to $100. No, it's on. Hold on just a moment. Everything's showing green. I'll go ahead and check it, turn off. Okay, everything's showing green, Madam Court Reporter. Sorry about the disruption. So your new charges, I'll appoint a public defender. You have a possession of cannabis felony amount over 20 grams. I'll also stay that bond. You're also here on charges in case 2022, CF 13594. You have an attorney, Ms. Medling, for charges of burglary of a conveyance,
Yes, ma'am.
grand theft, assault, and battery. Because you're out on bond and you have new law violations, I'm going to revoke your bond and release, or excuse me, forfeit the bond on the other charge, and you'll be held at no bond on all counts.
Your Honor, given that he has no other criminal convictions, 0 failures to appear, and based on the arrest affidavit, he was allegedly fixing the vehicle. He didn't pick up another grand theft. I would ask that you consider revoking and doubling so he can continue to work and not be held at no bond. He doesn't have any other convictions that I could see, Your Honor.
One of the conditions of being out on bond or conditional release is that you not commit new offenses, so I'm going to deny that request. Thank you, counsel. Ms. Medling can argue that for him. Good afternoon, sir. Can you start by telling me what your name is?
Julian Lee Haas.
Mr. Haas, you're here for felony charges. Do you want a public defender to help you with your newest arrests?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint a public defender, H-A-A-S-E. I'll appoint a public defender in case 2022 CF 2085AO. Your voice is a little draggy. Tell me what your name is again.
Julian Lee Haas.
Okay. You're here for armed robbery with a deadly weapon while wearing a mask. Count 2, bomb threat. Count 3, criminal mischief greater than $1,000. Count 4, arson. Count 5, burglary of an occupied structure, as well as count 6, resisting officer without violence. The state want to be heard as far as any PC issues or bond amounts.
Your Honor, with regard to count 1, that is a first-degree felony that is punishable by up to life. State would ask that defendant be held no bond.
All right, so no bond, but he is entitled to other bonds. I don't have anything, and direct me to it, for criminal mischief over $1,000. I have PC for a simple criminal mischief, but not for that level.
I know that he broke the window, Your Honor.
Was that window evaluated for replacement cost?
I'm looking for that right now.
Okay, they did 5,000. I'm sorry, I missed that. So I do find probable cause for all offenses. Defense, do you want to be heard as far as monetary bond?
No, Your Honor, we reserve the right to have an Arthur hearing.
Okay, he'll be held at no bond on count 1. On all of these counts, you're not to return to the scene of the crime. You're not to possess any weapons. On counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, I'll modify your bonds to $150 per count. On count 6, I'll modify that to $100. You're also already out in an Osceola County Court case. That case number is 21 CF 3467. Based on the allegations and probable cause, I'm going to revoke your release in the Osceola felony and hold you at no bond. Thank you. Marcella Jewel. Behavior. I'll appoint a public defender in 2022, CF 1868AO. I find probable cause for all of those offenses. On count 2, I will stay the bond. On count 1, modify to $150, and on count 3, $100. Defendant is not to possess any weapons or return to the scene of the crime or have any contact with any witnesses. And I'll take no action in 2020 CF 9323AO. State that that happened before this. It was a warrant.
Okay.
No, grand theft firearm 150. Count 2, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, stay the bond at 7,000. And count 3, 100. Sir, what's your name?
Daniel Perez Bouldin.
Sir, you're here for a charge of grand theft motor vehicle. I do find that there's probable cause. Sir, do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
Your bond in this matter is $1,000. Todd Profit is next. Is he in Orange County probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, give me a moment.
Let me double check that DOC for sure.
Oh, you know what? He has, these are FTAs. What's your name, sir?
Todd Profit.
You're here for felony charges in case number 2020 CF 557AO. Mr. Profit, do you already have a lawyer for your charges of burglary and petty theft?
I have a public defender.
Okay, the public defender will stay on your case, and I'll stay the bonds at no bond. Jeffrey Satchel's next. Okay, I'll go ahead and stay the bonds. Alan Spalding? Are you Mr. Spalding?
No.
Mr. Spalding, you're here for possession of methamphetamines with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis within 1,000 feet of a business with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Sir, do you want a public defender to help you with your charges?
Sure.
All right, anything defense counsel?
No, Your Honor.
I'll stay all the bonds. I do want to advise you that there is a hold for Marion County to pick you up. The next person I'm addressing is Shane Oltumo.
What happened to 2? Yeah, what happened to Giovanni 2?
Sir, what is your name? All right, Mr. Oltumo, you're here for new charges of armed robbery with a deadly weapon. You're also here for charges of petty theft. State, I know this is a PBL. Are you opposed to bond in this new charge? And then I'll take other action. And I'm not going to take any action on the possession of cocaine because that predates it. So no action on 2022 CF 1838AO. State your position.
Based on his history, Your Honor, yes, I would ask for no bond on count 1.
Defense, anything else?
Your Honor, I would ask that given on my sheet, it's not showing he has much of his, it's the out-of-state conviction.
And it's an armed robbery with a deadly weapon.
Yes, Your Honor. No argument, we reserve the right to have Arthur hearing.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and keep it at no bond. I'm also going to stay the bond on the petty theft. Sir, you're to have no contact with any of the witnesses, no return to the scene of the crime. When you are released from jail, you do have reporting obligations. With sex offender reporting, you need to comply within 2 business days. Thank you, Mr. Oltumo. Sir, what's your name?
Joseph Richard Vance.
Mr. Vance, good afternoon. Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yeah.
You're here in case 21 CF 14348. You were arrested and probable cause has been found for fleeing and attempting to elude with lights and sirens. You are entitled to a bond, as well as driving with license suspended or revoked as a habitual offender. Defense counsel, do you want to be heard on count 1 bond?
Your Honor, I would just ask that you consider the fact that my client currently, he's employed full-time, but currently does not have much money financially, so I would ask for a $2,000 bond for the driving while license
You
suspended.
said a 10?
2, Your Honor.
I'm going to deny the request for a 2, but I will give him a bond of $5,000. He was on I-4 at the time, and he does have failures to appear and convictions. On count 2, I'll modify the bond to $150.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, you're not to drive. You don't have a license.
Yes, ma'am.
The next person is Daquan Walker. Are you Mr. Walker?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Walker, you're here on an out-on-bond case as well as new charges. Do you want a public defender to help you with your new charges?
Wait.
What?
I ain't out on bond for nothing.
Okay, you're an ROR. Do you want
RR for what?
Do you want? Let me talk first, and then you can talk back. Okay?
I just need to know, understand, because you're saying something I'm unaware of, ma'am.
Okay, and that's why my next question is: do you need an attorney to help you with your case?
Yes.
And she can explain it to you, or your attorney thereafter. You're here for charges of possession of a weapon or firearm by a convicted felon, as well as grand theft 3rd degree with a firearm. I find probable cause you are entitled to bond. However, you're already out on charges for possession of cocaine and MDMA ecstasy. Defense counsel, do you want to be heard on any of these?
Your Honor, as far as the out on bond is concerned, I would just ask that if you are considering revoking, you revoke in double as opposed to holding him at no bond. Although he has a history, he has 0, oh no, that's the misdemeanors. Nope, yep, 0 failures to appear.
Okay, well, failures to appear aren't the only criteria. It's also being out on bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
So he was, or release, he has a court date today, the 23rd, with a follow-up date on the 7th, in case 21 CF 8726. I'm going to revoke his release, hold him at no bond. On the new charge.
Excuse me,
on
ma'am.
count 1, I'll stay the bond on count 1 and on count 2.
Hold on, you ain't even talking right, bro. You tripping. Excuse me, Your Honor. May I say something?
Briefly.
Because I just talked to my lawyer yesterday. I'm not out on bond for nothing. Our only charge that I have that's open right now is possession of cocaine. I just talked to my attorney yesterday morning.
And that's what you're out, once
I'm
you
not out on bond for possession of cocaine,
you're on
ma'am.
release conditions, I'm revoking it. So, no, thank you. Here's Daquan Walker.
Your Honor, I apologize. I didn't get the bond amount.
Stayed.
Oh, okay. Thank
Stayed
you.
and no bond on the new.
Thank you.
David Wallace.
Yes, ma'am. How you doing? Yes, ma'am.
I'm well, Mr. Wallace. How are you?
I'm all right, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're here for charges of possession of MDMA and resisting officer without violence.
Yes, ma'am.
Corrections, will he qualify for PTR?
Give me one moment.
Oh, no. Can I?
Hold on one moment. He's low.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to do pretrial release with drug testing or monetary bond, sir?
Yes. Okay, yes.
All right, sir. I'm putting you on straight pretrial release. Probable cause has been found. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yes. So,
I'll appoint a public defender. Here are the conditions of your release.
oh, thank you.
You're not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs.
No.
You're subject to random testing. Testing can begin anywhere after 30 days from today, and you have to pay for that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Good luck to
thank
you.
Woo!
Neat.
What is going on?
All right, let's go ahead and start with the misdemeanor case. He has, what's your name?
Mark Stephen Wolf, ma'am.
Mr. Wolf, you have some felony cases. I'll appoint, do you want a public defender to help you with your felony charges?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you already have a lawyer I'm not sure if you do, actually. So you have missed a court date in case 21 MM 2373 for a charge of petty theft. There is a bond of $2,000. State, any objection to, can I have a factual basis on that Home Depot petty theft from March 28th of 2021?
And Your Honor, while we're waiting, he would like, if you're willing to resolve that case.
I need a factual basis first.
On March 28th of 2021, the LPO observed the defendant select several items. Defendant then removed one of the items from the original packaging and concealed it in an empty Home Depot bag. Defendant then proceeded to exit, passing all points of sale without attempting to pay for the concealed items. The items were recovered, and it was a total of $151.60.
And it was recovered?
Yes, Your Honor, items were recovered.
All right, based on his history, I would adjudicate do 4 days. He has credit for 2.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's go ahead and do the plea on that. MM 2373 AO. Sir, how do you plead to the charge of petty theft that occurred at Home Depot on or about March 28th of 21?
No contest, ma'am.
Do you understand what no contest means?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
No, I'm being handed a plea form. Did you read it and understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
And did you sign this, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you understand we will not have a trial because you're entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you understand that if you were on probation when you committed this offense, by pleading today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Sir, this is not on the form, but I do need to advise you, theft is an enhanceable offense. I will convict you in just a few moments. If you commit a future act of stealing or theft, you will be charged with a felony despite the value of the items. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, and do you need any more time to speak with an attorney?
No, ma'am, I'm good.
I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days, less credit for 2 days' time served. You owe your court costs by December 31st of 2022. Now I'm going to move over to your felony cases. Do you want a public defender for your felony charges?
She's like, you got. Your Honor, he can hear out of one ear, so if you could speak just a little bit louder.
Do you want a lawyer from the public defender's office for your felony case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint a PD. 21 CF 6539. You were arrested for dealing in stolen property, and you have 5 counts total of that. You were also arrested for receiving money from pawnbroker with false verification. You have 5 counts of that. Probable cause has been found. I'm going to stay the bond on count 1. That bond is at $1,000. All remaining bonds will be modified to $150 per count. No contact with the victims. And so you have bond, Mr. Wolf. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else from corrections?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe we had Giovanni Tews. Oh, he bonded? Okay, and I wanted to go back, this is my first time going back on weekdays for court, but Anthony King, okay, so he was here on an obscene communication and a possession.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond Court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond Court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Good morning, sir. Can you start by telling me your name?
Good morning, ma'am. Your Honor, my name is Jorge Mendez.
What is it? Jorge Mendez?
Jorge Mendez, ma'am.
Mr. Mendez, you're here for a misdemeanor offense called battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause. This is a criminal act. Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Your Honor, I was expecting Felicia Bonborn from Fab Law Firm.
From what law firm?
Fab Law Firm, Fabulous Law Firm. Felicia Bonborn.
Okay, well, can we pass him? Your attorney, the attorneys do know to be here.
Well, I was talking to her 5 minutes before the incidents yesterday, and I asked the deputy to call her so I can explain what happened. And I haven't had contact with only my
here's what I'll
pastors,
do.
so she did tell her that
Slow
she
down
had to
just
be
a
here
moment. She needs to know what time to be here. That's one of the
9.
things we do as an
Right.
attorney. Let me go ahead and start with the witness in this case, and I could recall you this afternoon or apprise her of what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Because the attorney is not here. Do you want a public defender is my question?
Sure, if she's not here.
She's not here. All right, defense counsel, you can go ahead and step in. Ma'am, please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Andrea Rosero Londano.
How do you know Mr. Mendez Medina?
He's my husband.
He's your husband? Oh, you'll have to answer out
Yes.
loud. Is he your husband?
Yes.
And do you live together?
Yes.
Do you want him to return home?
No.
No?
No.
Are you in fear of him?
Somewhat.
Okay. Do you know if he owns any weapons?
Yes.
And was alcohol or drugs a factor in this alleged incident?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. Was either alcohol or drugs a factor in this alleged incident?
Yes.
It's also my understanding that you have contact at work together.
Yes.
Are you able to work separate shifts if he's released from jail?
No.
And what is it that you and he do? Or where do you work, rather?
I own a barber shop.
Okay. Do you want him to continue to work at the barber shop when you're not there?
No, because it's a suite, so it's only one chair.
All right. All right, State PD's office, any questions for Ms. Rosario Londano? And ma'am, over here I have the Office of the State Attorney. As this case progresses, they'll assign a victim advocate to assist you, and then over here is one of his attorneys. Any questions for Ms. Rosario Londano?
Nothing from the state.
Any questions from defense?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Do you know if he could afford monetary bond?
He can, Your Honor.
He can?
Yes.
Either which way, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him on straight pretrial release. And I'm also ordering that you not possess, use, or consume any drugs or any illegal drugs or alcohol. You'll be subject to random testing within 30 days of today at your expense. You're to have no contact with the victim of this case. Since you live together, I will allow for a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. You must surrender any weapons. You're not allowed to have any. That surrender must be done within 5 hours. Mr. Mendez Medina, do you have any questions?
No, Judge, thank you.
Okay, and again, that's no contact, so you're not going to be working at the barber shop.
And I'm sorry.
Yes, counsel.
Your Honor, it's 5 hours from release to turn over any weapons.
Yeah, just enough to.
Okay, thank you.
But he's not to possess them. With that exception. Ma'am, do you have any questions about the conditions that I've just explained to Mr. Mendez?
No, I do not.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next case is Philogene Nerez.
So you're good.
PD's office, because of the language barrier, I'm going to appoint you sua sponte.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Madam Interpreter, do I have you online?
Yes, this is the interpreter.
Okay, have you already been
I'm
sworn
on there.
in?
Not yet.
You solemnly swear to interpret from English to Creole and English to Creole and Creole to English to the best of your abilities, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
All right, please ask Ms. Nerez to raise her right hand to be sworn in.
Allô, Miss Dorez, c'est moi qui ai interprété en créole pour vous avec juge là. S'il vous plaît, levez mes doigts tout pour prêter serment.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Est-ce qu'on sermenté pour dire vérité, seulement vérité et pas autre vérité devant Dieu?
Moi, sermenté pour me dire vérité.
Can you please put your hand down?
Yes, I swear to tell the truth.
Thank you.
Mettez-moi en l'air.
You could put your hand down.
On met descendre.
I'm going to have a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office help you with your case.
M'bral faire un avocat dans bureau public defender aider ou avec dossier là.
Merci un peu.
Thank you very much.
Is Hugo Philogin present?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Là, nous avons Hugo Philogin présent.
You were arrested for an offense of aggravated battery. PD's office.
Yo t'ai arrêté.
Oh, sorry.
Yo t'ai arrêté pour offense qu'on t'ai commettre et du fait que pour attaque que vous t'ai fait.
PD's office, can you figure out if inquire as to whether or not she lives with him?
Est-ce que bureau public defender a regardé si monsieur a habité avec lui?
Oui.
I believe she stated we, Mr. Interpreter.
Yes.
Your Honor?
What's the probable cause? Yes.
Right, that's what I was going to say. The way that this is written, she would be the victim. The defendant would be the victim, although it seems as though it is mutual combat.
Is he in custody?
No, I think they said they were going to file the charges at large. So, Your Honor, if I could have the 24 hours to get the facts straightened out.
Do you mind if she's pregnant and these are the facts of the case, do you mind if I set a bond?
I don't mind if you set a bond, Your Honor, but if you continue reading, they did a blood draw and she was not pregnant.
Okay, well, I understand, but I'm also reading the facts of the case and it lacks probable cause. What bond do you suggest? 500? Or straight PTR?
I would ask for 500, Your Honor, because supposedly there was a weapon.
Wait, hold on. We have an interpreter.
Oh.
That was my bad.
Okay, and which part of that would you like, Your Honor, would you like me to interpret?
Okay, Ms. Nerez, I don't find probable cause.
Alors, Miss Nerez, nous pas la cause pour que cela là devant nous.
I'm going to give you a bond amount of $500.
Nous pral ba ou yon caution et montant c'est $500.
Will you be able to afford that bond using a friend or a bondsperson?
Pour qu'à payer caution, pour qu'à aller, est-ce pour qu'à payer lui ou même ou bien peut-être ton ami qu'à aider ou?
Bon, moun ki ka aide m paye lan, téléphone mwen rete la kay la, nan men voisin ki te rele 911 pour moi, un téléphone mwen rete nan men yo. Mwen pa gen téléphone avem. Pour m ta rele famim.
Well, except that I don't have my phone with me to contact my family because the person who could help me, I don't have the contact information with me.
All right.
Your Honor,
Yes,
I would ask for pretrial release if she qualifies. I believe.
Go on.
Okay.
Let him interpret.
Alors nous te gen pour nous mando tout pour nous checker si tu qualifié pour l'autre bagay tout.
Robin, will she qualify?
Yes, Sharon, we could do straight.
Exemple de qui ça?
Wait, stop. No, not you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, we could do straight PTR. She has no priors. We weren't able to contact the victim because no phone number was provided. And even though they do reside together and she does find an alternate address, she can still update that with her supervising officer. So if we can do straight PTR, we can do that, Your Honor.
I'm going to give you a $500
I'll-
bond. You don't need, defense, are you okay with me waiving that for the interpretations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your bond is $500 or pretrial release. You can interpret that, please.
Alors, caution, c'est $500, et puis n'a fait ça au relais et pre-trial release. Côté que n'a plagué ou avant que nous présidions audience sous caisse là.
You're to have no contact with Hugo, the alleged victim in this case.
Ça veut dire ou pas ta supposé entrer en contact avec Hugo du tout qui c'est victime dans caisse là.
You must live separately from him.
Ou supposé habiter séparé.
He
Pas
can stay in the
habiter
apartment.
avec lui.
Sorry. He may stay in the apartment, you cannot.
Li ka été dans appartement mais ou pas capable.
You're not allowed to have any weapons.
Ou pas gen droit pour posséder aucun arme.
They must be surrendered to the police department within 5 hours of release.
Et dans 5 temps que ou lage ou il faut que ta bay tout bagay dans département police là.
If you need to collect some belongings from your apartment, you must contact the police department and they'll escort you there.
Si ou genyen affaires personnelles ou besoin al prendre dans appartement, donc ou al contacter département de police là pour y aller avec ou là.
For the record, I'm finding no PC and rolling it to tomorrow in the event that she's not released today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I have one more question. Okay.
Please
Constato nous a mette nos PC dans si ça t'arrive côté que c'est demain si tu veux que ça fait.
Ma'am, your attorney after court can help explain that to you with the help of an interpreter.
Et puis avocat ou tout pour expliquer tout ça pour plus tout avec aide d'un interprète.
Yes, corrections.
Your Honor, being that we have the Creole interpreter, if I can just utilize him, I know you set the bond at 500 or pre-trial release. Can we ask her right now if she can get if she wants the 500 or PTR? Well, we have the Creole interpreter.
500 or she doesn't have a phone.
Your Honor, I would, if I may, I would just ask for straight pretrial release. She's not going to be able to bond out because she says she doesn't have anyone's phone number.
I'll do straight PTR.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And Mr. Interpreter, could you please advise the client that I circled on the form that I'm handing her the telephone number so she can call and speak with her attorney about any of the facts of the case or defenses she may have.
OK. Numéro téléphone que ouais que moi encerclé là, c'est numéro téléphone pour aller pour contacter pour ba avocat ou plus détails concernant case là.
Thank you. That concludes our hearing.
Oh, all right. Thank you for using our services. You all have a great day. Nous fini.
You can go ahead and disconnect. Do I have Beloit next, or do I have Jordan Berner? Beloit refusal. This case was rolled over as a plea. PC was already found. I'll go ahead. PD's office is appointed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No further recess. Next person is Jordan Berner. If Tiffany Borges is present, on record on 2022 MM 1194AO.
And Your Honor, you're keeping Billet's bond state at 500?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Good morning, sir. Can you start by telling me your name?
Jordan Bernier.
You're here for a couple of different cases. You were just arrested and for the charges of resisting officer without violence, violation of a domestic violence injunction, as well as aggravated stalking after an injunction. And it's also my understanding that you were also out on bond. You were released on the 16th of January for possession of cocaine, battery, domestic violence, and violation of an injunction. Sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your newest case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender to assist you. Actually, it's only showing as a resisting under that case number, so that's what I'm going to go with. Disregard on the stalking at this time. Ma'am, go ahead and tell me your name.
Tiffany Borges.
All right. Are you in fear of how do you know Mr. Bernier?
He is the father of my sons.
Okay, and do you live together?
No,
Do you want contact with Mr. Bernier?
no,
Is there any reason he needs to return to your home or?
no.
How come the felony case isn't on this paper? Oh, I see what's going on. So he's also in on 2022 CF 504AO. My paperwork just worked. All right. What says the state as far as, any questions for Ms. Borges?
Nothing from the state.
Any questions for Ms. Borges from the defense?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Do you want to be heard defense on his out on bond, the cocaine, battery, and violation of injunction?
Yes, Your Honor, I would ask that if you are inclined to revoke, that you consider revoking and doubling. My client does work full-time. He has 0 failures to appear, and looks like the last conviction he had was in 2014. So just ask that you consider all of those factors.
I do also see that he was arrested on case 2022 CF 2094,
209.
aggravated stalking after an injunction, as well as 2022 MM 1203, violation of injunction. It's not on here.
You see, Your Honor?
I mean, that's all I can argue.
It's listed on the paperwork. This is for the clerk's purposes, but it's not on the case number. So I do find
Okay.
probable cause for those charges.
Okay.
He is entitled to a bond. What I'm going to do is revoke his bond in 22 CF 504AO. I'll hold him at no bond on all of those counts. On the aggravated stalking and the new violation of injunction, I'm going to set his bond at $7,500 and $150 respectively. On the resisting, I'll modify that bond to $100. The numbers weren't on here. 150 is 2022 MM 1203AO. That's the violation of domestic. Yes, ma'am. Sir, you're to have no contact with Ms. Borges whatsoever. You can't call, text, phone, email, use third-party contacts, send delivery service, or anything like that. That would be a violation of your release conditions. However, you are going to be held on no bond from your January detention. You're not to possess any weapons. All weapons must be surrendered within 3 hours of your release if you still have them. You're not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or consume any alcohol. Ms. Borges, do you have any questions for me?
Okay, so I'm just trying to understand. So
You just
he
get a little
is
closer
going
to
to
the
be
microphone.
released?
You need to get him a little closer to the microphone. I can't hear you.
Okay, so I was saying, I mean, I don't really understand, like, with the no bond, the bond. So is he able to get released? That's my main concern.
He's not going to be released. The offenses that happened earlier this year are going to hold him because the allegations are that he violated those release conditions by having contact or with an injunction. I can't give you legal advice. The Office of the State Attorney has a victim advocate who can further explain that, but he's going to be held at no bond until his next court date.
Okay.
All right?
And you appointed us on that case as well, Your Honor?
You want a public defender on
Your-
that case?
Yes.
Oh, they said he
Okay.
already has it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Save that.
Your Honor,
Hold on, one at a time. Yes.
yes, he was calling me from the jail.
I found that there's probable cause, and I explained to him that he's to have no contact, whether it be phone calls or not.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
anything
you.
else, State?
I was also going to ask for no return, Your Honor.
That I said all terms of the injunction, which is no return.
Okay.
Okay. Sir, I'm sorry for the wait. Your name, please?
Terry Lumpkin.
Is Jocelyn Pollock here?
Not on my docket.
On what?
She's not on my docket.
No, she's the victim. 2022 CF 185780. Sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Probable cause has been found in this offense. State, are you seeking that he be held at no bond on count 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you asking me to find that proof of evidence is presumption great at this point?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else, defense?
Your Honor, I would ask that you set bond in this case, considering his history. He doesn't have much of a history as far as convictions are concerned. So I just ask that you take that into consideration and set the bond amount. And I believe, as you noted, they both were here yesterday, him and Ms. Pollock. So I just ask that you consider.
Is she the one who was incarcerated too?
Yes.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
And there was, you found no probable cause because of the affidavit. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe both parties wanted contact with each other.
I need to hear from her again.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, I'm going to hold him at no bond on count 1. On the false imprisonment, $150. On the battery, $100. On the criminal mischief, $100. You're to have no contact with Ms. Pollock. You're not to possess any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 5 hours of your release, and you need to maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. Thank you.
May I speak, Your Honor?
Talk to your attorney. The next person is Enrique Sanchez Garcia.
So call this number and they'll follow the motion to have a hearing, Arthur hearing. You gotta speak to the attorney.
Is Victoria Pobian present? Good morning, sir. Can you tell me what your name is? Excuse me, what's your name?
Enrique.
Enrique Sanchez, you're here for a crime of battery by strangulation. It is domestic in nature, I do find that there's probable cause for this offense. Do you need a public defender that's a lawyer to help you with your case?
I have a personal lawyer.
Okay, you have a personal lawyer.
Yeah.
Where is he or she?
I didn't have a chance to have. I haven't made not one call since I've been here since 2 a.m.
Okay, well, he is not here right now, so
No,
the
unfortunately.
attorneys in town do know what time to be here. I'm going to give you a bond in this case. I'm going to order no contact with the victim. You cannot go to where she lives, works, or is known to frequent. If you own any weapons, you're no longer allowed to. Weapons need to be surrendered within 5 hours of your release. I don't believe you live together. If you do, you're not allowed to anymore. She can stay where she's living. You cannot go to where she's living. State, do you want me to set bond at $2,500?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and bond is $2,500. Good luck to you, sir.
So is it 10% of 2,500?
If you use a surety.
Now, question, Judge. Can I get a restraining order?
In fact, I'm not giving you a restraining order. You need to see a different judge, but I am giving you an order that you are not to contact her.
Okay, can she not contact me?
No. This is on you. If she shows up at Publix and you happen to be there, it's your responsibility to leave because the no contact is on you. You are to have no contact with her.
Okay. If she shows up to my house, what happens from
I
there?
can't give you any legal advice. There's a no contact order placed on you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
What's your name, sir?
Bro, Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, you're here in case number 2022 CF 2066AO. You're here for charges of aggravated battery on a pregnant person as well as petty theft. Is Tadrika Miller present? State, do you want to be heard?
No, Your Honor.
All right, do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Probable cause has already been found in this offense. I'll go ahead and give you a monetary bond, not pretrial release. Your bond is $2,500. On the petty theft, your bond will be $100. You're to have no contact with Tandrika Miller. Maintain separate residence. If you live together, I'll allow for a one-time return and no weapons. All weapons must be surrendered within 5 hours of your release from jail. Do you have any questions for me or your attorney, sir?
No, ma'am.
The next person is Timon Walter. Is Roberto Walter present? Roberto Walter. I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender on this case. State, do you want me to set bond on it?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
All right, on the aggravated battery and the battery on a person aged 65 or older, I do find probable cause. Based on the number of arrests and his unwillingness to demonstrate ties to the community. On the aggravated battery, I'm setting bond at $2,500. On the aggravated battery in a person 65 or older, $150. No weapons, no contact, and no return. One-time return allowed if they live together, and weapons to be surrendered within 5 hours of release. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me what your name is?
Morning, Your Honor. My name is Miguel Estacio Carrion.
You're here for a misdemeanor case 22 MM 989AO. You were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause. Is Anifi Fanfare present? No response.
I turn myself in, ma'am.
All right. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, what did, is that a yes? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Probable cause has been found. I know he qualifies for PTR, but there is some history. I'm going to set bond at $750. No contact with the victim for any reason. Maintain separate residence with a one-time return. You're not allowed to own any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 5 hours of your release.
Your Honor, he is currently on Social Security disability. They don't reside together, and my client did turn himself in, so I just ask that you consider all of those factors and place him on pretrial release. It looks like he has no convictions, 0 failures to appear, and he's been in the Orlando area for over a year.
What says the state?
I have no objection to PTR, Your Honor. Although there is history, it seems as though the last offense was back in 2011, so it's over 10 years ago.
Next case is Juan Cooper. Are you Mr. Cooper?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. You're here for case number 2022 MM1200AO. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. Is Tasha Smith present? Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
I can use one.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender to help you with your case. How long have you lived in Orlando?
About maybe 10, 11 years.
Okay. All right, based on his, I know he's established ties to the community, but he does have out-of-state failures to appear. I'm going to set his bond at $750. Mr. Cooper, your public defender, will assist you. You're to have no contact with the victim. No contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered within 5 hours of your release from jail. So if she's living in some kind of shelter, you can't stay at that shelter or encampment. What's your names?
Garden, Kirby.
Is Kirby Garden present? Kirby Garden?
No.
Do you need a public defender to help you with your case for battery domestic violence? That's a lawyer. If you feel you can't afford one, I can appoint a public defender. Do you want a lawyer, Curvins?
No.
No? All right. You were arrested for a charge of battery, domestic violence. I'm going to, do you want PTR or $500 bond? State.
I'm just looking, Your Honor, at the history. It's a fight between brothers, Your Honor. I have no objection to PTR.
Okay, I'm going to put you on pretrial release. You're to have no contact with the victim, Kirby Garden. You can't live where the victim is living, so I'll allow for a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer and you're not to possess any weapons. Weapons needs to be surrendered to law enforcement within 3 hours of your release, Mr. Godden. Thank you. The next person is Ashley Hall. Good morning, ma'am. You're here for case number 2022 MM121AW. You are arrested for a charge of battery, domestic violence. I do find that there is probable cause for this offense. Do you need a public defender, a lawyer, to help you with your case? Okay. So I am going to set bond. The bond is going to be $500. You're not to have any contact with Junior Rodney. Can you afford the $500 bond?
Yes, it's already been put in motion.
$500 bond, no contact with Junior Rodney, maintain a separate residence. Junior can stay where he's living. You cannot go to where he's living. I'll allow for a one-time return to collect your personal effects. And you're not allowed to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 5 hours of your release, and you need to comply with Department of Children and Families. So end your case, Ms. Hall. Yes, Ms. Hall.
What happens if it's him coming to me? Because
All right, you're to have no contact. If it's your house, shut the door. If you see him at the, okay, if,
just started.
do you live together?
No, he's been entering my son lost his house keys and he found them. He's been using my son's house keys to get into my home. I was in the shower last
Are you sure you don't need a lawyer to help you with this? Because I can't give you any legal advice. It's a no contact order on you.
I just want to make sure it's on both parties.
I can't give him any restrictions. He's the victim. Are you sure you don't want a lawyer?
Have a moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, she would like the PD.
Okay, I'll appoint the public defender and stay the conditions. Give me just a
Thank
moment to check with, make sure nobody's appearing online. All right, the next person is Majia Jones. All right, I'll appoint a public defender on this case. Is Elisa Rosado or Yesenia Reyes present? Good morning. Please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, help you God?
Yes,
Please state your name for the record.
Elisa Rosado.
Ma'am, how do you know Majia Jones?
Majia Jones is my son.
He's your son?
Mm-hmm.
And who is Yesenia Reyes?
My sister. It's Yesenia Calleja.
What? I'm sorry, what did you say?
Calleja is her last name.
Oh, okay. And how old is Yesenia?
Well, I'm 41. 40, she's 42.
All right. I'm appointing a public defender on his case. I do find probable cause. Do you want, who lives in your home?
Now it's just me and my mom. She's on hospice.
Before this incident, up until the time, did Majia live with you?
Majia lives back and forth to.
He lives where?
Back and forth to siblings' houses and my mom's house because he's in danger to all of us.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and find, since I'm going to set a bond, but because of the history, I'm on each of these, on the battery domestic violence, I'm setting bond at $750. On the other battery, $100. He's to have no contact with any victims or witnesses. He's not to return to their residence, and he's not allowed to own any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 3 hours of his release.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I would ask that he, in this particular case, he wasn't interviewed, but I would ask that he be screened for mental health pretrial release. If you look, he's been deemed mentally unstable to stand trial. He has prior competency, and I believe in the arrest affidavit, it did also note his mental health.
I'm also going to go ahead and have, or mental health pretrial release with those conditions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
On both counts. So what that means, ma'am, is because the attorney believes his history shows that he has mental health issues, they may do some sort of release that's going to have a mental health component to it. Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
I'm just saying he just been off his meds for a while, and he's been instituted
All right.
last time.
I'm also going to order that he take any prescribed medications and he not consume any illegal drugs or alcohol. Hopefully, he'll follow those orders. Good luck to you, ma'am. Malin Karina Rivera. Good morning. Is that your name?
Yes, that's my name.
You're here. Give me a moment. Is Salvatore Buferarti present? No response. 2022 MM1204 is the case number. Ma'am, you were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause. Do you want a public defender that's a lawyer to help you with your case?
Sure.
Okay. I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. Who lives in your home with you?
We just reconciled 2 months ago, and I just came back to the apartment that he threw me and my son out from.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry.
No, after you.
So it's me, my son, that's 7, my baby that's just turned 8 months, and Salvatore Buferarti.
All right. In this case, I'm going to do, will she do PTR?
Correct, Your Honor. Yes.
I'll qualify her. She'll do pretrial release if there's no objection from defense or state.
No, Your Honor.
No contact with the victim of the case. No weapons. If you own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 5 hours of your release.
The babies? I'm
What?
sorry.
The baby has weapons? You're not allowed to have any weapons. If you own any, I tell everybody this for domestic cases, if you own any, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 5 hours of your release. You need to live separately from the victim in this case. I'll allow for a one-time return, but you must be accompanied by a police officer, so maintain separate residence. Your attorney will explain that to you. Thank you. Next up is Danielle Luis Santiago. (2022) MM11888AO. What is your name?
Daniel Santiago.
Mr. Santiago, do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender to help you. I do find that there's probable cause for this offense. Based on your history, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $500, and you're to have no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence. I'll allow for a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. You're not to possess any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 5 hours of your release. Also, I'm ordering that you not possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or alcohol. You'll also be subject to random testing at your expense. Testing can begin anywhere from within 30 days of today. The next person is Belinda Twyman. Are you Ms. Twyman?
I am.
Good morning. You're here for a criminal case, 2022 MM1201AO is the case number. You were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause. Do you want a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender to help you. You're to have no contact with the victim, Tyler Everett. You're not to go where Tyler is, if or his residence. You must not possess any weapons. Any weapons need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 5 hours of your release. All right, and your bond, I'll set bond at $250.
Your Honor, I don't believe she was interviewed. My client currently isn't working. She has no money. So I asked if she could qualify for pretrial release.
She was interviewed. Let me just go over my notes why we didn't qualify.
Lack of ties to the community.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
No contacts, yes.
But I did do a $250 bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any objection to that, State?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Next person is Charles Weed. Is Lauren Fries present? Lauren Fries? No response. Case number 2022 MM1189AO. Sir, do you want a public defender to assist you with your case?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Mr. Weed, you were arrested for an offense of battery domestic violence. I do find that there's probable cause. You're to have no contact with Lauren Fries. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow for a one-time return, but you must be accompanied by a police officer, and you're not to possess any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 5 hours of your release from jail. And how long have you lived in Orlando or the Orlando area?
A year and a half.
Are you working? Do you go to school?
Yeah, I have a job at UPS.
All right. And state PTO or monetary?
Just reviewing one more time, Your Honor. Monetary, please, Your Honor.
Defense?
Your Honor, given that he has no criminal history, zero failures to appear, and he's been here for over a year, I would ask for pretrial release, given that he qualifies.
Can he afford a $500 bond? Would you prefer that?
Your Honor, no, he asked for pretrial release.
I'm going to go ahead and put him on pretrial release. Jihad Zrek. Sir, please tell me your name.
Jihad Zrik.
Your case number is 2022 MM122AW. Sir, you were arrested for a charge of battery, domestic violence. Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Yes, please.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Ma'am, go ahead, raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Can you?
I swear.
Okay, go ahead and put your hand down and just speak into the microphone.
Okay.
And you can tilt it up so you don't have to bend down. I'm gonna,
State your name for the record.
after you.
Please state your name for the record.
Radana Hakeem.
So I'm gonna ask you some questions. He has an attorney and the prosecutor is here. So we're all entitled to ask you some questions. How do you know the defendant?
He's my spouse.
He's your what?
My spouse.
Okay, and do you live together?
We do.
Are you in fear of him?
No, as long as we live separately.
So you want to maintain separate residence?
Correct.
Does he own any weapons that you know of?
Yes.
Were drugs or alcohol involved?
No.
And do you have access to all of his weapons?
I believe so.
Would you be comfortable calling the police department to surrender them as well? The ones that you're aware of?
Yes.
Okay. State, do you have any questions for her?
Nothing from the state.
Defense, do you have any questions?
Just one question. Ma'am, so do you want contact? You just want to live separately?
No contact except for phone contact relating to our son. He can speak to our son. If it's regarding our son, that's fine.
Okay. Your Honor, I would just ask for a $500 bond. In this case, he has no history, and with the no contact order and the maintain separate residence, I believe that would be sufficient in this case.
What says the state about monetary versus PTR?
I have no objection to a monetary bond, Your Honor.
Okay. How old is your son, ma'am?
He's 2.
So, since he's 2, you're okay with him having a telephone conversation with his dad?
He can FaceTime his dad, absolutely.
What about general care and stuff? Because he's 2, because your son is 2, he's not going to be able to just initiate a phone call. Are you okay receiving text messages?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $500. Maintain separate residence. Victim can stay in the shared home. I'll allow for a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer, Mr. Dreck. You're not allowed to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered to police department within 3 hours of your release. Winter Garden is a smaller town, so I'm only allowing for 3 hours. And ma'am, you can go ahead and contact the police department as soon as you leave and have them pick up the weapons if you'd like. Contact is to be no in-person contact. 10-minute telephone or FaceTime calls with child per day. Any communication about the child is to be limited to 10 minutes per day and must be by text message. So you can't do anything to harm, threaten, or intimidate her during those text messages. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, do you have any questions for me?
I don't believe so at this time.
Okay. All right, anything else from defense?
No, Your Honor.
Next person is Curtis Butler.
And you did on that case, Your Honor, you gave a one-time return, correct?
One-time return as long as he's come, but a quick surrender on any weapons.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you Curtis Butler?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Butler, you're here for an out-of-county warrant. Out of Swooney County for the underlying offense of shooting into a building. You do have a bond. The bond is $100,000. Would you like me to appoint a public defender in case you're not transported and you're unable to bond out?
No, ma'am, I'm all right. I'm born.
All right, thank you.
Thank
I'm also going to order that you not possess any weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered within 3 hours of your release.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Can I see the paperwork for, yeah. What is your name, sir?
Firmato.
Thank you. Mr. Firmato, you're here from a case from Polk County for domestic battery strangulation. Probable cause has been found. You're going to be held at no bond. You're not to have any contact with the victim. Do you need a public defender in case you're held too long and since you do not have a bond? Yes. Okay, I'll appoint a public defender. Their office can communicate with the Polk County Sheriff's Office in jail. Thank you. The next person is Jose Ernesto Garcia. Okay. Thank you. John Lear, are you Mr. Lear?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lear, there is a warrant for your arrest out of Marion County, Florida for battery and stalking or cyber stalking. So there's 2 different counts. You're being held at no bond at both of those. We'll notify Marion County that you're here for pickup. In the meantime, do you want me to appoint a public defender, a lawyer, to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint a public defender. Thank you, Mr. Lear.
Yeah, call.
What is your name?
Anthony Sanchez.
Mr. Sanchez, you are here for a felony case in Levy County for leaving crash with serious bodily injury and driving with license suspended as a subsequent offender. You're being held at no bond on both of these charges. You also may have you also might be held for a violation of probation. Do you want me to appoint a public defender to help you with your case?
You have a question. I'm on probation for that accident. Is there another accident they're saying I did, or is it the one I'm on probation for?
It's for what you're on probation for. That's the underlying offense.
Oh, so I'm just here on a violation of probation.
So you're being held at no bond. Your attorney can better explain that to you.
Okay.
Levy County will be notified that you're available for pickup. Are you Mr. Wahid?
Good, yes.
Mr. Wahid, you're here for a Seminole County case. You're here for count 1, racketeering, count 2, manufacturing or sale of possession of a slot machine, count 3, lottery, and count 4, keeping of a gambling house. We'll notify Seminole County that you're available. Count 1 bond is no bond, followed by counts 2, 3, and 4. Each of those bonds is $3,000 apiece. They're also ordering that you be placed on GPS. I'm going to stand silent on the GPS, but you do need to surrender your passport as well, and report to Seminole County for GPS once you're released. Do you want a public defender in case there's any transport issues and since you're being held at no bond?
My main question was when they're going to come pick me up.
They have a full month to do that transport.
They have a full month.
So do you want a public defender since you're being held at no bond on count 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. Thank you, Mr. Wahid. Let's see Burton as well. Oh, Burton I have. 2016 CF 451-4AO. We're back to Orange County. Sir, what is your name?
Lee Burton.
Mr. Burton, do you want a public defender to help you with your case for your violation of probation?
Yes.
All right. You were placed on probation, and it's alleged that you committed that you violated your probation by leaving your last known residence without notifying or getting the consent of your probation officer. You do have a bond in this matter. Your bond is $3,500.
Okay.
The next person I'm addressing is Jamaica Denson. Okay, reset for tomorrow, just in case. What is your name, sir?
Michael Hoyman.
Mr. Hoyman, you are here for an Orange County Circuit Court case. The case number is 2019 CF 866BO. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Does he have any report?
Yes, reporting requirements, yes, ma'am.
too? Sir, you were placed on probation for the offense of burglary of an unoccupied dwelling. It's alleged that you violated your probation by moving from your last known place of residence without the consent or knowledge of the probation officer. So you're currently being held at no bond on that matter. Unrelated to that case, you do, or relating to your criminal history, you do have reporting requirements. Once you do get a bond, you do need to report as a sexual offender within 1 business day and keep them updated of where you're living. The PD's office will assist you. Ma'am, can you start by telling me what your name is?
Brittany Quintana.
Ms. Quintana, you're here for a criminal case. It's a misdemeanor offense. Give me a moment.
Ronnie, you need her recommendation?
Nope, I'll pull it up. The case number is 2019 CT 864AE. Actually, can you put the recommendation on record?
I do have a David for her as well, Your Honor. Okay, so the recommendation is revoke and terminate probation and sentence defendant to 10 days of incarceration with credit for time served, followed by a new term with all original conditions, plus completion of the cognitive behavioral change class, or referred to Division 62. And I have a copy of her David as well.
Do you have a VOP date for Judge Duckworth? What's her time served right now?
See, Your Honor.
I think it's 3.
Some help with the clerk. And this one, let me.
Okay, do you want a public defender to help you with your case? So let me go over what I'm supposed to. You were placed on probation in December for driving under the influence, and it's alleged that while you were on probation, you committed a new law violation of driving with license suspended or revoked on or about January 17th. Do you want a public defender to help you with that case? Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender to help you. And PD's office, did you hear the recommendation for Ms. Quintana's case?
I did, Your Honor.
Is there a bond on that?
Let me see, Your Honor. No bond.
And that's a no bond. Judge Duckworth's next VOP is not until April 11th. And I'd be inclined to also plea out her new law violation, which is 2022 CT 85AE.
Okay. And can I,
2022 CT 85AE, driving with license suspended. She already has a public defender. That case is set in front of Judge Johnson in early March.
and you said, Your Honor, that you were willing to plea that as well?
Yeah, let me check that, and I'll give you an offer on that. So this would be her first DWLS.
Okay.
She has no time on that, but I would adjudicate her and do a separate court cost of $307.
And if I could, Your Honor, just hear that offer for the violation again. So I can
10
write it.
days, revoke and terminate new term of probation, complete all remaining conditions during that new term of probation. She has credit for 3 days.
Okay.
They also want cognitive behavioral change class. I'm gonna take that off. 10 days will suffice for me. I just put my name down. Do we have a lot of 33 days? No. How's the afternoon looking?
Yes, Your Honor, she would like to accept the offer.
Do we have VOP admission forms here? And then I'll need a new form for the new CT. And if you need that case number again, let me know. A different pen.
probation forms, Your Honor.
And I could just question her.
Let's go normally.
Corrections, can you figure out how much time she has left for probation and the reinstatement? Or the new term, rather? So you're gonna take time off before you start?
This is just for the.
Take your moment, Anya. I'm trying to pull that up now. Let's see. So her supervision, excuse me, Your Honor, her supervision end date is June 14th this year. 6 months. She was sentenced December 15th of 2021.
Into a 6-month sentence?
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna do a new term. Oh, yeah, you have a good cheat sheet. While you're conversing with her, she had a 6-month term of probation, which didn't, but I can have up to a year on that total. So what I'd be inclined to do is do a new term of probation of 180 days. Start within 30 and complete within 150. But I don't want to set her up for failure. Can you just double check to see what she's done of her conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what she has not?
Your Honor, she's done everything but her hours.
And I'll double check that in just a moment. And if she works, get some testimony, if she works, get some testimony on record, and I can do business purpose only license when she qualifies.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Here you go, madam. Thank you, Ms. Ann.
Permission to-
6 months. To finish the- It's 10 days for them.
Let's have her sworn in.
Oh,
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Ms. Quintana, are you currently working?
Yes.
Where are you currently employed?
Exploria Resorts.
You'll just need to speak into the microphone and a little bit more clearly.
Exploria Summer Bay Resorts.
And how often do you work?
Full time.
So you work every day?
Every day but 2 days, so 40 hours.
And how do you get to work?
Take the train, Uber.
And do you have transportation?
That's pretty much my transportation.
No further questions, Your Honor. She doesn't.
Where's your job at?
Claremont.
It's what?
It's by Claremont.
It's by Claremont, and you live in Orlando?
Yeah.
I am going, in just a moment, I'm going to go over what a D6 clearance business purpose only is. I'm not giving you any legal advice, but it doesn't mean because I court order it that you get it. You have to clear it up with the Department of Motor Vehicles and get a business purpose limited license. And is it your testimony,
Yes.
Rob, it doesn't say all this stuff. And let me know if you object to any of my line of questioning. Again, I don't want to set her up. Did you complete the DUI counterattack school?
Yes.
And did you complete the victim awareness panel?
Yes.
Did you comply with the impound requirement?
I didn't have a car.
Whose car were you driving on the date of the alleged driving with license suspended back in January?
My boyfriend's car.
Did you do the 50 hours of alternative community service?
Just did 3 so far.
3 hours. State, do you have any questions about the completion?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to take you at your word, but anything that has not been completed, it must be done within the set amount of time. I'll begin with your case for driving with license suspended. Case number 2022 CT85AO. Ma'am, you're here for a crime of driving with license suspended. How do you plead? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Did your attorney explain what that means? What no contest means you're not admitting it or denying it. You just feel it's in your best interest to finish your case. Do you agree to that?
Yes.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No.
Are you satisfied with the services of your lawyer?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No.
Can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
I'm showing you this paper. It's the plea form. Did you read it and understand it?
Yes.
And is this your signature?
Yes.
And what's the highest grade that you finished in school, Ms. Quintana?
My high school diploma.
Do you understand we will not have a trial in your driving with license suspended case?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today?
Yes.
Do you understand if you were on probation at the time you committed the offense of driving with license suspended, your term of probation would be violated?
Yes.
In just a moment, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of this offense and you'll be fingerprinted. What it does not say on this paper is driving with license suspended is an enhanceable offense. If you commit a future act of driving with license suspended, you could be designated a habitual traffic offender, be charged with a felony, and or face a 10-day jail sentence. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And do you understand that this may have other consequences on your driving license privilege?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and proceed to sentencing. You're being adjudicated guilty and you owe court costs of $307. I'll give you until December 31st of 2022 to set up, to make payment on that one case. Now I'm gonna move to your violation of probation. Case number 2019 CT864AE. Ma'am, I've already asked you some of these questions, but this is a new form, admission to violation of probation. Did you read this form?
Yes.
Did you sign it?
Yes.
Did your lawyer talk to you about the maximum penalties associated with the offense of driving under the influence?
Yes.
Do you admit or deny committing an offense of driving with license suspended while on probation?
Yes.
Admit or deny?
Yes.
Admit or deny?
I'll admit.
All right, did anybody force you to make that admission?
No.
And do you need any more time to talk to your attorney about your case?
No.
Do you understand that you're giving up your right to a hearing on your violation of probation?
Yes.
And you have not consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No.
Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, at this time on the violation of probation, I'll adjudicate you guilty of this offense. You've been previously adjudicated, rather, sentenced to 10 days in the county jail with credit for 3 days' time served. So you'll be released in less than a week. I'm revoking and terminating your original term of probation. I'll put you on a new term of probation. That new term of probation is 180 days. You need to report to probation within 2 business days of your release from Orange County Jail. Failure to report would be a violation. I'm giving you 120 days to complete the remaining community service. You have 30 days to show proof of anything previously completed, or 150 days to complete. Are you on a payment plan for your DUI already?
What do you mean?
Are you on a payment plan for your DUI? You owe money for your,
Like the court? I haven't paid yet. I just paid my probation.
okay. I'll give you until December 31st of 2022 to set up a payment plan for that. If you fail to, to pay that in full. If you fail to pay it, your license will go into suspension. I have no objection to a business purpose only license when you qualify. So again, you have to go to Department of Motor Vehicles. Do you have any questions for me or your attorney, Ms. Quintana?
No.
State, anything else?
Nothing from the state.
Defense, anything else?
No questions, Your Honor. All
right, thank you. We'll get some fingerprints and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence. Thanks for your patience in that one. Can I, any objection to me starting the 33 days? No objection, Your Honor. State, are you ready on those?
Yes, Your Honor.
(2022) CF 762AO. Defendant's name is Pedro Enrique Medina Cepeda.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Granted. Next case number is 2022 CF 842AO. Defendant's name is Emmanuel Charles.
Denied, information was filed.
Denied. Next case number is 2022 CF 871AO. And defendant's name is Jermaine Smith. What are we doing with that?
Denied, information was filed.
Denied. Charlie Roberto Ramirez, his case number is 2022 CF 635AO.
Denied, information was filed.
Denied. Next case number is 2022 MM.
Bond Court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond Court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond Court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.